I welcome all of you to this Bhagavatam class every Saturday. Let us start with the Kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodhanandana Vrajajana Ravijana Yashodhanandana Vrajajana Ravijana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to this session. Let's begin our session today. Give me a second. We start now with the darshan of the deities. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Mai ki jai. Nitai Chaitanya ki jai. Parashuram Bhagwan ki jai. Vaman Dev ki jai. Panchatatva ki jai. Giri Govardhan ki jai. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jai Pataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitaya Kripaputayane Gauravta Dhamataya Nagara Gramatarine Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Utirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langriyate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The session is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, GBC Spiritual Master. Okay, so let's begin. So today we are going to discuss chapter 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a very wonderful chapter. Very, very nice chapter. You'll love this. So far what has happened is we are in the canto number 1. So in the canto number 1, we have done till the chapter number 10, right? Departure of Lord Kṛṣṇa for Dvārakā. And the previous chapter was the passing away of Bhishma Deva, how Bhishma Deva left his body in presence of Lord Kṛṣṇa. And then now Lord Kṛṣṇa is leaving for Dvārakā. We saw how the women of Hastinapura were glorifying Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa with their prayers. So today we are going to see the situation when Kṛṣṇa is going to leave or enter into Dvārakā. So let's begin with the first verse. Sūta vacha anartan sa upavrijya Shrivirdhan janapadan svakan dadmau daravaran tesham vishadam shamayanniva. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Suta Goswami said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis, known as the country of Anarthas. So it's written here, Anarthan, right? So Anarthas, Dvārakā. The Lord sounded his auspicious conch shell, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. So, whenever we start the worship of the Lord, what is the first thing that we do? When we are doing the deity worship of the Lord, what is the first sound that we hear? Anybody can say? In the temple. Hare Krishna, I couldn't hear you. Conch shell. Conch shell. Perfect. Yes. So first what we do is we start with the conch shell. Correct? So we blow the conch shell. So that is to alert us that, Lord is coming. Right? So whatever we do in deity worship is like a reception of the Lord. Right? We will see all that process. If Lord were to be there physically in front of us, how, we would receive the Supreme Lord Krishna is the subject matter of today's chapter. Okay, so first thing, what did Lord Krishna do? As soon as he came towards the border of Dvārakā, the first thing that he did is, he sounded his conch shell. What is the name of conch shell of Lord Krishna? Panchajanya. So he sounded that and pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. Because all those people who are there in Dvārakā city, they are not ordinary living entities. They are all liberated souls. So whenever Lord descends, he descends along with his entourage. That means all his people, the set of all the liberated souls of Vaikuntha, they will come along with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So these people, they were very much dejected because the separation of Lord is like that. Right? So in Shikshashtakam, there is a verse which says, Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahena Me. That means in the Viraha of Lord Sri Krishna, the whole world is Shunya, vacant. So this is the feeling of the pure devotees. So once we associate with the Lord through his names, by chanting of his names, or by associating him by going to the holy Dham, Vrindavan, or associating with his pure devotees, the Bhagavata devotees, once we are separated from them, or the Dham, or the Bhagavatam, then we suddenly feel everything is vacant. Right? This is the feeling of the Gopikas also. When Lord Krishna left them in the Vrindavan, they were unable to tolerate the separation. And so what happens in separation, we tend to think more about the person whom who love. Is it not? So, for example, if there is a husband and wife, if the husband goes on a tour for, let's say, for a couple of months and comes back, the wife would be always thinking about the husband. So similarly, this Krishna consciousness movement is based on this separation principle. Right? Once Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture and somebody stood up and said, Swamiji, I tell you, I can see Lord Krishna face to face every day. Then Srila Prabhupada said, it does not matter. It does not matter because our movement, all the acharyas, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana, they are always searching out for Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? 24/7, they're crying for Krishna. Where is Krishna? Right? So in separation, they are worshipping Lord Krishna. Right? So that is the mood in which we worship Lord Shri Krishna. Not that, Krishna is with me 24/7, like that. So the next verse. Sauchakashe dhavalo daro daro apyuru kramasya dharano shana sonima Dadhyamana karakanja sampute yathabja khande kalaham sa utsvanaha. The white and the fat-bowled conch shell being gripped by the hands of Lord Krishna and sounded by him appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stem of red lotus flowers. So this is such a beautiful description. Lord Krishna's lips are described to be in a dark pinkish red color. And that color, I'll just show you how it looks. So it is compared with a bimba fruit. So you just see this fruit. Can you see this here? So this is the color of Lord Krishna's lips. So it's compared with the bimba fruit. So you can see how dark red it is, how beautifully red and pinkish it is. Correct? So when Lord Krishna was touching that conch shell with his lips, so that conch shell became reddened. So conch shell is white in color, but it became red in color because of that glow that was coming from the lips of Lord Krishna. That means it was so red that the conch shell seemed to appear to be reddened. So, right? So, Supreme Lord Krishna, his touch is also spiritual. He's all spiritual. He's not material, right? So this redness is a symbol of spiritual significance, right? Anything that comes in contact with Krishna becomes spiritualized, right? Just like Srila Prabhupada gives this example. If you take a iron rod and put it in fire for a long time, what happens? The iron rod will become red hot. Soon it will become completely red hot like fire. So it will attain the nature of the fire. Even though iron rod is iron rod, it will become as good as the fire. Similarly, if we associate with Lord Shri Krishna, we become spiritualized. So that is what we are trying to do. So living entities, they are marginal potency of Lord Krishna. Whereas the Prakriti is the external energy of Lord Krishna. Right? What does Lord Krishna say? Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhire vacha ahamkara iti yame bhinna prakritirashtada. So what does it say? Lord Krishna is saying that the earth, water, fire, all of these are constituting the separated material energy of Krishna. That means Krishna has got mainly three energies. God has three energies, mainly. Of course, God has infinite energies, not one or two, infinite. But out of these, the primary energies are three. One is external energy. That is the Maya Shakti, or the material nature, which is made up of these five elements and mind, intelligence, and false ego. And Lord Krishna says, besides these, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the nature of this material inferior nature. That's apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. Jiva bhutam, jiva bhutam. Jiva bhuta means us. We living entities are classified as superior energy in comparison with the material energy, right? But who is the source of this matter and spirit? That is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the source of matter and spirit. And Krishna says that beyond this matter, there is something called as the spirit, right? That spirit or that spiritual world is Lord Krishna's abode. Okay, so that's what it is. So we have to understand that Lord Kṛṣṇa is spiritual. And when we come in touch with Lord Kṛṣṇa, we become spiritualized. That is why the Acharyas are stressing. Rupa Goswami says, Yena tena prakarena mana Kṛṣṇa niveshayet. Means somehow or the other, put your mind on Kṛṣṇa. Somehow or the other. Right? The same thing Lord Kṛṣṇa is saying, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mami vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyosi me. No, always think of me. Think of me. Always think of me. Manmana bhava madbhakto, become my devotee. Lord Kṛṣṇa is instructing, always think of me, become my devotee, pay obeisance unto me, you will come to me. Right? Somehow or the other, we should keep our mind on Kṛṣṇa. Just like Ambarisha Maharaj, Savaimana Kṛṣṇa Pada Ravinda Yoho. Right? He used to always think about Krishna's lotus feet. His mind will be engaged in Krishna's, meditating upon the lotus feet. So this is a spiritual process, very powerful process called Bhakti Yoga. We are trying to meditate upon Lord Shri Kṛṣṇa by chanting his names. So what happened here? The citizens of Dvārakā, having heard that sound which threatens the fear personified in the material world, began to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, who is protector of all devotees. So what do you do when you see Lord Kṛṣṇa? If Kṛṣṇa is entering your city, how would you react? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he toured South India, and he used to visit the devotees' houses. So how many of you want Lord Chaitanya to visit your house? Please raise your hand. Here. How many of you would want Lord to visit your house? And you want to personally cook for Lord and feed him? Right? Yes. Hari Bol. So that's what. So just imagine if Lord Kṛṣṇa is coming to your city, how ecstatic it will be. I mean, the same feeling we can actually get a glimpse of the same feeling when the pure devotees of the Lord, when they come inside our city, we become so ecstatic to receive them. And in their association, we become so ecstatic. And in their separation also, we become very ecstatic. We feel very sad. Actually, in that sadness also, there is some kind of happiness. Right? So these Dvārakā vasis are becoming very ecstatic. And they were waiting, because what happened was Lord Kṛṣṇa went to Hastinapura for the sake of, having as an ambassador of Kauravas, and he was engaging in a dialogue with Kauravas, and he tried to convince them to stop the war, and that didn't happen. And then they had to do the war planning, and then they had to do the war. And even after the war, so many people died. Yudhishthira Maharaj requested that, Lord Kṛṣṇa, please stay back. Right? So that's what we saw. Kṛṣṇa stayed back for a couple of months. And then Bhishma Deva gave instructions, right, to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Like that. So, just one thing, very interesting comment here is that this Dvārakā and this Mahabharata, this entire thing is not mythology. This has happened really. So actually, if you see, there's a lot of research that's going on, archaeological research that's conducted by Professor Rao, that they have discovered a city submerged under the sea near this Dvārakā. Even today, we have this city of Dvārakā, and so many pilgrims go there, for as a yatra, pilgrimage they go. And we nearby in that show, there's a complete city submerged inside it. Now, how do you know? It's like, the entire description of Dvārakā Nagari is given in the Harivamsha Purana. How this Dvārakā is. Why to go to Harivamsha Purana? We have description here only. Now, we're going to, in the next 30 minutes, we're going to see the description of Dvārakā, and we will see how Dvārakā was. So it is like a Vaikuntha. It's actually Vaikuntha's expansion. So whatever these transcendental cities are there, Dvārakā, Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, they are not material world. So if you go to Dvārakā or any of these dhams of the Lord, they are spiritual world. So we are not able to understand it because we are on a material platform, but they are completely spiritual, right? So that is the beauty. So next time when you go to the dham, you should have that feeling that, you are in the spiritual world. Or Mayapur dham, Vrindavan dham, Dvārakā dham, these are all dhams. So what happened is, actually, everybody was very anxious, and all of these are liberated souls, right? I told you that all the Dvārakā vasis are liberated souls. They were running towards Lord Kṛṣṇa to see him, right? And they were feeling very, very sad. Actually, there is a fictional writer, Srila Prabhupada says here, that says that Kṛṣṇa of Vrindavan and Kṛṣṇa of Mathura and Kṛṣṇa of Dvārakā were different personalities. But actually, that's not true. The Kṛṣṇa of Kurukshetra and Kṛṣṇa of Dvārakā are the same. So some people, when they are giving this Bhagavatam class, they will say Bhagavatam Saptaha or something like that, professional reciters who are not devotees, obviously. What they do is they will jump directly to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And they will start with the Rasa Pancha Adhyaya. That is like the 5 chapters which describe the most confidential pastimes of Lord Kṛṣṇa. That is the dancing of Lord Kṛṣṇa with the gopis. They jump to that. So the thing is, why they are jumping to that? Why don't they read Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the same Lord in the warfield. So for devotees, whether the Lord is there in the warfield or whether the Lord is dancing, it is the same. So that's what it is. So there's no truth in the conclusion that Kṛṣṇa of Kurukshetra, Kṛṣṇa of Dvārakā are different personalities. They are one and the same. Right? So the next verse is, the citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations, offered them fully satisfied and self-sufficient one. By his potency, incessantly supplies others. These presentations were like offering of a lamp to a sun. Yet the citizens began to speak in ecstatic language to receive the Lord, just as wards welcome their guardian and father. So such beautiful description is given here. So that one of the analogy is just as wards welcome their guardian and father. I don't know how many of you have stayed in a hostel or a residential school. So imagine how, just go back in your memories and just remember when your parents visited, suddenly without telling you, your father visited or your grandparents visited, or your mother and father both visited you in the residential school. After a long time, they come and they suddenly somebody calls you and they say, your parents have come, go. So they will go running towards your parents, right? So just like that, they became very ecstatic, just like how small children become ecstatic by seeing their guardian or father, right? And they began to speak in ecstatic language. I mean, the language also became ecstatic, right? Now the point is, they brought some presentations. Now this was what I was telling, right? So there is a way of receiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the Vedic system, right? So when we receive a person, how we should receive? What kind of presentations we must offer? So we must offer something to that person. When we receive somebody, we should offer something. So what kind of offerings that we do? These are the offerings that we do in our daily archana. So whatever deity worship that we are doing, it is like we are offering the Lord. So the deity of the Lord is not different from Kṛṣṇa. So we should not think that that is a deity made up of stone or deity made up of painting, or it is. You should not think like that. That's an offense. What we should think is, this deity in front of me is Supreme Lord himself. So then how would you present yourself when you're in front of the deity? That way we must act. So the Lord is Atma Rama. Atma Rama means he's self-satisfied. He doesn't need anything. What is it that we can give to the Lord? Right? So God supplies material to everybody, every living entity. What can I give God? That should be our mood. So we must say, Kṛṣṇa, I humbly offer this to you. I am such a humble person. This is what I have got. I don't have anything beyond this. So kindly offer this. Kindly, accept this. With this mood, very humble mood, we should be offering something to the Lord. We should not think that, okay, I have given a donation and Kṛṣṇa has become richer now because of my donation. Or we should not think that, okay, I have prepared a nice food stuff and here Kṛṣṇa will eat now. He's hungry. He's not hungry for food. I mean, he's actually the digestive fire in the every living entity. He doesn't have to, he doesn't require any food. So the perfect example here is these presentations were like offering of a lamp to the sun. We have to remember this, very important. If you have to understand the Bhagavad Tattva, right? The feature of Bhagavan or the God, offering of lamp to a sun. So what happens is, typically people do Surya Puja, right? For example, in Bihar, there's a famous festival called Chhat Puja. In that they worship the Lord Sun God. So similarly, the Sun God worship is there in various parts of the country. So what do? We worship the Sun God. When you worship the Sun God, so worship process is the same, right? Deity worship. What do? First you will show agarbatti. After showing agarbatti, we'll show a lamp to the sun. Now, how funny it is. No, you are offering a lamp to the sun. The sun is the source of all the light in the material world. Now, every brilliant light that comes is actually a reflection of the sun. And what is this small lamp that you are giving to the sun, which is so bright, dazzlingly bright, right? Means whatever presentations that we give, they are very humble in front of the Lord. But still Lord Kṛṣṇa accepts. What does he say in Bhagavad Gita? Patram pushpam phalam to yam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktya upahrutam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If you offer even a leaf, flower, right, or a fruit or water with devotion, he says 2 times bhakti, bhaktya tadaham bhaktya upahrutam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Bhakti word is used twice. With devotion, if you give, with humble attitude that, Lord, I am a pauper, I have nothing. What can I give you? You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what I have got. Please take it. It should be the mood in which we are offering to the Lord. So then Lord will accept, right? So Sun God doesn't require any small lamp. So similarly, Lord Kṛṣṇa doesn't require our presentations, but still he is kindly accepting us. So the next one is, the citizen said, "Oh Lord," so this is like the prayers of the citizens. Just now it was said in the previous verse that they became ecstatic and now in ecstasy they are speaking. What are they saying? Let's see. These are the prayers. So whenever the prayers come in Srimad Bhagavatam, we should break. We should stop there and we should relish that prayers. And we should try to get that mood in which these people are giving the prayers. Just like how the women of Hastinapura, they heartfully, they glorified the Supreme Lord, right? So, and it was explained that these prayers of these women of Hastinapura are better than the Vedic hymns. So Lord Kṛṣṇa felt that these are better than the Vedic hymns. So that is the position of a devotee. So let us see that citizens are saying, "Oh Lord, you are worshipped by all demigods like Brahma, the 4 sanas, and even the King of Heaven. You are the ultimate rest for those who are really aspiring to achieve the highest benefit of life. You are the supreme transcendental Lord, and inevitable time cannot exert its influence upon you." So, all the devatas, including Brahma and his sons, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Sujata, and Sanat Kumara, all of these 4 sages, the first 4 sons of Brahma, who are perfect brahmacharis, perfect transcendentalists, they also worship Lord. And Indra, the king of heaven, also worships the Lord. Right? And who worships Lord Krishna? Whoever wants the ultimate benefit of life, the highest benefit of life is to get the pure devotional service to Krishna. So, and even the monists who want to merge with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they also worship Lord Krishna. Therefore, he is also called as Kaivalya Pataye Namaha, means he is the master of the monists. So he is the master of the monists also, he is the master of the devotees also. So anybody who wants the highest benefit of life, they must worship Lord Krishna. Bhavayanastvam bhava bhavana tvameva mata tasuhrut pati pita tvam sadgururna paramam cha daivatam yasyānuvritya kritino bhavuvima. O creator of the universe, you are our mother, well-wisher, Lord, Father, spiritual master. Yes, there's a question here. I'll answer that. So, okay, you are the worshipable deity, spiritual master. By following in your footsteps, we have become successful in every respect. We pray, therefore, that you continue to bless us with your mercy. So, what is Lord Krishna? Right? Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiyaha tasham yonir mahatbrahma aham bija pradah pita. I am the seed-giving father of all the living entities. And in another verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the best friend of all the living entities. And Krishna says in another verse that I am the father, I am the mother, I am the prapritamaha, I am the grandfather. So even father and mother is also Lord Krishna. So everything is Krishna. So that's what these are the realizations of the citizens of Dvārakā. So one thing here is very important. By following in your footsteps, we have become successful in every respect. Lord Krishna says, Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvasaha. Means everybody follows me. Directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, everyone is following Lord Krishna. But the devotees, they are following in a correct path. Whatever Krishna says, they follow the instructions of Krishna. Right? So, it is like this. If there is a owner of a house and owner of an estate, and there is an ordinary worker. So the owner will give instructions how this worker must work. And the worker, if he does those instructions properly, he will be nicely maintained and reciprocated by the owner. Right? But sometimes the owner may be doing some activities which are not to be repeated or imitated by the workers. For example, the owner can go and sit on his seat, or he can sleep on his bedroom. So the worker cannot think that, okay, I'm going to follow my owner. Whatever he's telling instructions, I will follow. So I'll go in his bedroom and sleep on his bedroom. So this is wrong. So Lord Krishna, we should follow his instructions. We should not try to imitate his pastimes. So a lot of people, they say that we want to imitate Lord Krishna. So they say that, Lord Krishna has danced with the gopis. So we will also dance in the bar. And what is the difference? It's the same. It's Rasa Leela. It's not Rasa Leela. Prabhupada says it is Rascal Leela. So this is not supposed to be imitated. If somebody wants to imitate dancing with the gopis, first they must lift the Govardhana mountain. So first they must imitate every pastime. No, why only Rasa Leela they must imitate? First they must lift the Govardhana mountain, right? and they must lift the Mandarachala mountain. We will put the Mandarachala mountain on that person, and then we will do the Kshirosagar Manthan. If they're able to tolerate all that, then we will allow them to do Rasmila. Right? So, not these Lord's instructions are supposed to be followed. So, by following the footsteps of Krishna, we become successful, 100% successful. So, Bhagavad Gita is the instructions of the Lord. Right? So, we must take that instructions and make it our life and soul. If Krishna gives some instruction in Bhagavad Gita and says that, stay away from this, do like this, do like that, work like this, be in this attitude, we must follow, because he is the spiritual master. He is the Chaitya Guru. He is the Chaitya Guru sitting in our heart. He is the Guru. He is the spiritual master. He is the original spiritual master of every living entity. And he is giving us instructions through his literature, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We have to take up these instructions, and our life will become perfect by simply following this. Aho sanata bhavata smayadvayam traivishtapanam api dura darshanam premasmita snigdha nirikshananam pashyema rupam tava sarva saubhagam. Oh, it is our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. For your Lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form full of all auspiciousness. So we have to recite this in ecstasy. So they're becoming so happy. Oh, it's such a good luck today that we are under your presence. When we go in front of the deities of Lord, you should say this verse. So it's such a good fortune for us. You rarely visit even the denizens of heaven. So Lord Krishna, he does not even visit the heaven. Very rarely he visits the heaven. Right? So when did he visit the heaven? There's a nice pastime of the Lord. When he visited the heaven, when Lord Krishna, first of all, Lord Krishna descends once in the day of Brahma. Only once in the day of Brahma. So day of Brahma is how long? It's like it's lakhs and lakhs of years. It's like how much? 43 lakh years multiplied by 1000. That is one day of Brahma. So in one day of Brahma, Lord Krishna visits only once in the material world. That was, we are very fortunate that 5000 years back, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Avatari Krishna, from whom all the incarnations come, that original Krishna has come. Like not the Avatara Krishna, but the original source of all incarnations, that Krishna has come in this Dvapara Yuga. So we are so fortunate, 5000 years back, he was here. He left all his footprints in this country. So, what we have to see here is that these people were very much, once he comes, Lord Krishna doesn't visit even the heaven, I was telling, right? Yeah, so Krishna, once what happened is like Krishna goes to the heaven and he gets a Parichata flower, right? There is a beautiful garden called Nandanavana in the Swargaloka. That is supposed to be like the most beautiful garden. In that garden, he gets a nice present from Indra, that he takes that flower, which is very, very fragrant, very amazing. So he takes that flower and gives it to Rukmini. And the news will go to Satyabhama. We all know that, Satyabhama becomes very sulky, right? Becomes very angry. So Narada will go personally deliver the news. He will say that, you see, your co-wife has got a nice flower from the heaven. What about you? So then Satyabhama becomes very upset. So Lord Krishna will go to the heaven with Satyabhama and he will talk to Indra and he will directly go to the, this one, and he is taking the flowers. Then Lord Indra, he becomes very upset and he says, hey, what are you doing? Why are you going inside my garden? Lord Krishna says, what do you mean? It is mine. I will take it. So then they will have a fight. So Lord Krishna fights with Indra and he defeats all the demigods. So like that, Lord Krishna very rarely visits the denizens of heaven. So it's not that, every day they have darshan of Lord or something like that. So now these citizens are saying, you rarely visit the heaven and you are visiting us. And now it is possible to look at your smiling face. If you see Krishna's face photograph, is always smiling, right? Always smiling, right? He's a smiling face. So whether it is in the war field also, you see his pictures are smiling. You never see him frowning or something. Krishna is always, smiling, and he's full of affectionate glances. Right now they're saying we can now see your transcendental form, full of auspiciousness. And another thing is, inside this material world, if the devatas have to see the Lord, how do they see? They can't go to Vaikunta. Am I right? The devatas cannot go to Vaikunta, because to go to Vaikunta they need a qualification. Only people like the four Kumaras, some like, for example, Durvasa could go to Vaikunta. Not normal people cannot go to Vaikunta. There needs to be some qualification to go to Vaikunta. So then what happens? Where do people go then? If we see in all the movies or all the stories that when all the demigods are very troubled, they go to the Lord. So where are they going? Are they going to Vaikunta? If they're not going to Vaikunta, where are they going? Yes? They're going to a replica of Vaikunta in the material world called as Shveta Dvipa. So there is a replica of the Lord's world in the material world called Shveta Dvipa. So we see in the Lord Krishna's pastimes in the beginning, when the Mother Earth is very much troubled by the burden of the irreligious kings. Okay, she goes to Brahma and all the devatas, they go to the shore of Shveta Dvipa. They can't even access the Lord directly. So Brahma, he goes into meditation and he communicates with the Lord to meditation. And then the Lord reciprocates with Brahma and he passes the message to everybody. So it's not so easy to see Lord. Even for the devatas, it's very difficult. Right? So Yarhyam Bhujaksha Apasararabho Bhavan Kurun Madhunvata Suhruddidrikshaya Tatrabda Koti Pratimakshano Bhavet Ravim Vinakshnor Ivanastavachuta. Such a beautiful verse, huh? It says, O lotus-eyed Lord, wherever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavana, or Hastinapura to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. So this is their feeling that they are sharing, right? So whenever Lord goes on a so Lord has so many things to do. Sometimes he goes to Vrindavan, sometimes he goes to Hastinapura to meet the Pandavas. So he goes on his mission. His mission was to, execute the war of Kurukshetra and kill all the religious kings. So as a part of his mission, he used to leave Dvārakā time and again. So they're saying whenever you go, that moment also, even one moment also, right, is like absence is like millions of years. I mean, it is like Yugaitam Jagat, it's in Shikshastakam, there's a verse which says, even one moment is like one yuga, right? Such a long time of separation. It's so difficult to tolerate the separation of Krishna. So, and another thing is like, oh, infallible one, our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. So when the sun goes away, there is complete darkness. And in darkness, you cannot see anything. Is it not? Can you see anything in darkness? You don't see anything in darkness. But when the Lord comes, Lord is like that sun. So when the sun comes, we can do all our work, etc. Of course, we have electricity today. Just imagine the day when we don't have electricity, nothing. And if the sun goes away, it is completely dark. All we have is some lamps. That's it. We cannot do our work. Right? So this is Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is like the Kṛṣṇa Surya Sama Maya Andhakar. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Kṛṣṇa Surya Sama means Kṛṣṇa is like the sun. Maya Andhakar means Maya is the opposite side of the coin. Opposite side of Kṛṣṇa is illusion. So wherever there is Kṛṣṇa, there is no Maya. So just like wherever there is sun, there is no darkness. Right? So we cannot abuse the sun for the darkness. Sun is not the cause for the darkness. Right? The darkness is already there and the sun is eliminating that darkness. Right? So that is the thing. So yeah, one of the questions here in this chat was, who are monists? I said master of monists, right? Master of monist means monists are impersonalists. They think that the Supreme Lord is impersonal and they want to merge into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Okay, so that is their practice. Okay, so there are two schools of thought. One is the devotees and one is the monists. So these two schools are always at kind of argument, because they maintain that Lord is impersonal, while the devotees are maintaining that Lord is personal. But based on this conversation, based on this reading here, we can very much understand this Lord is so personal, right? They're saying here that by looking at your lotus face, which is full of smile, we become so happy, right? So that we can understand that, Lord is very much personal. Lord is not impersonal. Katham vayam nata chiroshite tvai prasanna drikshya khilata pashoshanam jive mate sundaraha sashobhitam apashyamana vadanam manoharam iti chodirita vachaha prajanam Bhaktavatsalaha shrunvano nugraham drushtya vitanvan pravishat puram. Oh Master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing these speeches, Lord, who is very kind to the citizens and devotees, entered the city of Dvārakā and acknowledged their greetings by casting their transcendental glance over them. So this is the feelings of the Dvārakā Vasi, that dear Lord, if you're always going away, how can we look at your face? If we don't look at your face, we cannot look at your smile. Because it seems in Bhagavatam there is description that Lord's smile can vanquish, tears which have accumulated from millions of lifetimes. So every living entity is suffering. And some point of the time, every living entity will cry out of suffering. So if you accumulate all these sufferings of millions of lifetimes, all the tears of millions of lifetimes, they all can be vanquished by just looking at once the smile of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So this is how powerful, Lord Kṛṣṇa's darshan is. Right? It can give us so much it pleases our heart so much. Right? So how can we exist without your presence, dear Lord? They're saying. So, Lord Kṛṣṇa, what did he do? He acknowledged their greetings. So just like how a big celebrity, right? He's the biggest celebrity. Kṛṣṇa is the biggest hero, biggest celebrity, most intellectual person, Shadaishwarya Purna, full of all opulences. So he is like the best. So he is, he's reciprocating, he's saying, yes, yes. He's acknowledging everybody, casting his transcendental glance over them. So he's looking at everybody. I mean, how does it feel? When, when a very great personality looks at us, and we feel that, the great personality is looking at us, we feel very happy. Now, this is like Kṛṣṇa is the source of all the great personalities. He is casting his transcendental glances. Then what happened? As Bhogavati, the capital of Nagaloka, is protected by Nagas, So was Dvāraka protected by the descendants of Vrishni. Bhoja, Madhu, Dasharha, Arha, Kupura, Andhaka, etc. who were as strong as Kṛṣṇa. You know, something interesting I will tell you. In the lower planetary systems, there is something called as the Nagaloka, the planet of the snakes. Okay, this description we get from Srimad Bhagavatam. So this planet of the snakes, even Bhima, goes to that place, right? When Bhima was tied with a stone and thrown, and he was poisoned by Duryodhana when he was young, and he was put into water. He goes down, sinks, and somehow he gets inside the Nagaloka. Okay, and inside that Nagaloka, the snakes will come and try to bite him. And after the snakes bite, what happens? Venom becomes anti-venom. Because he was already poisoned, the venom of the snakes become anti-venom, and he comes to life. And he breaks open all that shackles. And he will start killing all the Nagas or the snakes. So these snakes are very aggressive in protecting their loka. It's not possible for us to enter into that. I mean, we cannot go inside mining and just go inside somewhere and get inside the Nagaloka. They will not let us. And another interesting point is, in this Nagaloka, there is no sunlight. So sun doesn't come there. If the sun doesn't come inside, then where is the lighting? Where does lighting come from? So these Nagas have beautiful jewels on the head of that snake. Every snake will have a jewel on its head. So, which will be like a torchlight. Every snake will have a torchlight kind of a thing. So, I heard this very interesting comment from one of the lecturers from his name is Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He was giving a lecture saying that the scientists cannot understand this. And he was saying that just like if we see the modern society where we are putting all the lights, how we put LED lights or traffic lights, or somewhere in the night you put some kind of lights, right? Similar to that, just like Nagaloka. So he is just making a comment that, we are like behaving like the people of the lower planetary system now, right? By imitating them, right? So the Nagas are very, very protective about their loka. You cannot enter. Okay, they will immediately come and bite. So similarly, this Dvārakā Dham was protected by powerful descendants of Vrishni, right? Who are very, very powerful. Now we are going to see the description of Dvārakā. This is the best part of today's lecture. Sarvartu sarva vibhava punya vriksha latashramaihi udyanopavanaramair mrutapadmakara shriyam. The city of Dvārakapuri was filled with opulences of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, paths, and reservoirs of water breeding lotus flowers all over. So you have to imagine this in your mind. So how the Dvārakapuri city is there? Lord Kṛṣṇa is entering inside the city, and the description of Dvārakapuri is given. So it is filled with the opulence of all the seasons. So each season has got an opulence. We have 6 seasons, right? We have spring, summer, winter, autumn, like that. So each spring has got some speciality. In the spring season, we will see some new leaves. In the autumn season, you see that the leaves are falling off, dry leaves, old leaves are gone, right? In the summer, the sunlight is bright. Kṛṣṇa, kindly mute yourself. Yes, Hare Kṛṣṇa. Yes. So, in the summer, there is a opulence of the summer. For example, so every season, it's not that we enjoy every season, is it not? In the summer, we eat mango fruit. In the winter, we enjoy the cold also, right? And we get some kind of fruits of that season. There are some fruits that will come. There will be something, some experience of the season will be there, isn't it? Right? So similarly, each and every season has got an experience, but The spiritual world, Dvārakā is a spiritual world. It's in the material world, but it is a spiritual world. So even the Vaikuntha planets are like this. They are filled with the opulences of all the seasons. There are no seasons. So the trees of Vaikuntha or the trees of Dvārakā, they will give all the fruits of all seasons. You don't have to wait till that season. No, it will be always there. And there were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, parks, reservoirs, and reservoirs of water breeding lotus flowers. All this is the beautiful thing. So the modern society is very proud, right, of our houses. But once we hear this description, we will understand immediately that our house is nothing in front of Dvārakā. Our city, the so-called great city which we love so much, we love our cities for various reasons. We will see that it is like almost like hell in comparison with Dvārakā. So every house had a garden, firstly. And not just simply having a garden, flower gardens, right? Not like these days we see artificial gardens, artificial trees. We always see some kind of trees, right? So we see in IT parks and all the artificial parks that they do, they will plant certain kind of trees, which look somewhat like the Christmas tree. They grow tall and they look like, or sometimes they look like the palm tree, isn't it? So these trees are called Papa Vriksha. Means they do not give fruits nor flowers. Means they are called as sinful trees. In the trees also there are sinful and pious trees. So not that kind of trees, right? Some useless trees. But they were filled with flower gardens, parks, and there were reservoirs of water. So it's not like they had swimming pools or something, but they had nicely maintained reservoirs of water everywhere in the city, and which had beautiful lotus flowers all over. So lotus flower is an indication of the Lord, right? When did you see lotus flower last? It's so difficult to find lotus flowers in the city, right? We'll have to find in the flower shop or somewhere like that. Generally, it's so difficult to find them. So just imagine, if your house is surrounded by these kind of reservoirs full of lotus flowers, how would it be? Full of flower gardens, right? This is so beautiful. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada is making a very nice comment here. He is saying that the perfection of human civilization is made possible by utilizing the gifts of nature, right? So natural living is the correct living. So we should live with nature naturally, very nicely. So it should be close to nature. So our house, everything should be designed in a very eco-friendly way. I mean, it's impossible to design this kind of houses in Kali Yuga. But of course, Mayapur Dham, they are trying to do this. Inside Mayapur, the headquarters of ISKCON, they are trying to, simulate whatever the description is given here. The Dvārakā Dham, they want to do similarly like that. Right? They're trying to do. So, but we cannot imitate this in our in these concrete jungles of our cities. Right? It's not possible. Even the best of the best of the best of the luxurious apartments, which are sold for crores of rupees, you will not get this kind of beautiful description. It is not possible. So here another comment that Srila Prabhupada says is that advancement of civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills and factories to deteriorate the finer instincts of human being, but on developing potent spiritual instinct of human beings to get a chance to go back to God. Development of factories and mills is called Ugra Karma or pungent activities. Such activities deteriorate the finer sentiments of the human being society to form a dungeon of demons. Such an ecstatic comment here. Srila Prabhupada says that, all my purports are my ecstasies. And Prabhupada said, once Srila Prabhupada was reading his books, then his disciples asked him, Srila Prabhupada, why are you reading your own books? Why are you reading your own books? Then Prabhupada said, who said they are my books? They are not my books. Then if they are not books, whose books are there? He says, Lord Kṛṣṇa dictates them to me. And I write. So does Lord inspire you to write? No, he personally dictates. He says, Lord personally dictates, and each and every word of this is belonging to his dictation. So our cities are like dungeon of demons, right? Filled with factories and mills, which are doing ugra karma, very pungent activities. So this is how our houses should be, our society, our parks, not having just one park in one corner of the colony, but everywhere there must be a flower park, flower garland, fruits, flowers, beautiful garlands, reservoirs of water with ducks and swans playing in the midst of the lotus flowers, cow giving sufficient milk. These are necessary for us. So this will give us taste in spirituality, right? But if we only see mines and factories and workshops and skyscraper buildings, what will happen? And all the city roads filled with traffic, what will happen? It will develop demoniac propensity of the working class, right? And therefore, description of Dvārakā Dham is the ideal of human civilization. Human civilization must be like this. Let's see what happens next. The city gateway, the household doors and festooned arches along the roads were nicely decorated with festive signs like plantain trees and mango leaves, all to welcome the Lord. Flags, garlands, and painted signs on slogans all combined to shade the sunshine. So even till date, in many parts of India, whenever there is a festival, what do all people do? They will buy plantain trees. Is it not? For decoration, what do they buy? There will be plantain trees. That is like the bananas, plantain will be there, no? Full entire thing. So that we will be buying, and mango leaves, decoration with mango leaves. This is considered very auspicious, right? Having flags, garlands, painted signs, right? Of all the auspicious symbols of Lord, and slogans like something like Hare Kṛṣṇa everywhere. Put all the slogans everywhere, all the festoons, all the arches will be there, right? So whenever you enter into one kind of, I don't know if you have got a chance to visit Hampi. If you visit Hampi or any kind of historical city, or even if this is also the case, same in the Paris also, if you go there, there'll be big arches, the entrance of the city. So the entrance of the city will have big arch that is nicely, beautifully decorated. So it has the pictures of Garuda and Hanuman, right? Just like how the temples are decorated, right? All the Vishnu temples, how they are decorated, there will be Garuda and Hanuman. One side Garuda, one side Hanuman, the pure devotees of the Lord, right? These are the paintings. So if the Lord sees that, he becomes very satisfied. Krishna becomes very satisfied. And the highways, subways, lanes, markets, public meetings places were thoroughly cleansed and moistened with scented water. And to welcome the Lord, fruits, flowers, and unbroken seeds were strewn everywhere. So this is the way of reception. Vedic style of reception is, we don't put plastic banners, right? Or, I don't know, some artificial kind of crackers, Chinese crackers, right? So that is the style. So when the Olympic starts, what do we do? When Commonwealth Games starts, what is that? First of all, create a lot of paper and material and some kind of plastic material and plastic flexes, right? These flexes, they're not eco-friendly. These flexes are being banned now. But everywhere we see in the city, we put flexes, right, which is made up of some plastic and petrochemical products. So which is like we are actually contaminating the entire nature. So we are not eco-friendly. Everything we are spoiling, right? So we see what is the meaning of eco-friendliness we can understand by seeing the Vedic culture. So you see in the previous, this one also, everything is eco-friendly. The flags are made up of cotton. Garlands are made up of flowers, right? Painted signs made up of natural colors, right? And plantain leaves and mango leaves. Everything is biodegradable. So beautiful, isn't it? So here it continues and says that, the roads are clean. So whenever there's a great person comes, it is the tradition, even if the Prime Minister comes to your city, we see the roads will be cleaned. And if there are any road potholes, they will fill it. And if there is any painting that needs to be done, they'll paint it. If they have to put tar, they will put it. So, but we don't put scented water on our streets, right? We cannot afford it. The scented water is so expensive, made of this rose water, Kiora water, so expensive. This gives a very nice fragrance, sandalwoods, oils, water, and all. We cannot afford to do that. But they were so opulent. They were so opulent that they could process fragrant smell from flowers. By processing flowers, you can get fragrant oil. So that was strewn all over the place, right? So, and to welcome the Lord, fruits, flowers, and unbroken seeds were strewn everywhere. So, putting flowers everywhere on the floor, putting fruits on the floor, and unbroken seeds means, it's called akshata, right? We also say, when we are doing any kind of religious function, we take some rice and we mix turmeric sometimes or kumkum, and then we throw that to bless. It's called akshata. That means unbroken seeds. So this is the Vedic culture. So some people ask, and it's a logical question also. Hey, why are you people wasting rice? I mean, rice is supposed to be, Anna is the Purna Brahma, and you are disrespecting rice by throwing. What is this superstition? People comment like that, right? So it is said here, it was done 5,000 years ago also when Lord Kṛṣṇa came to Dvārakā. This culture is there where we are putting that grains and rice, which is put all over in the public places. That is considered as a auspicious sign. So it is also another meaning is that the grains used to be so much there, so much in excess at that time. That also indicates the opulence of Dvārakā. Dvari grihanam cha dajjakshata falekshubhihi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakaihi. Each and every door of residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruits, sugarcane, and full water pots with articles for worship, incense and candles were all displayed. So, for the different festivals, for example, for Sankranti, right? There's in different parts of this country, they will decorate with sugar canes, is it not? And for some festivals like Ugadi, they use the mango leaves and the plantain leaves, right? So even curd also is considered very auspicious, right? Curd is considered as Lakshmi, right? So wherever there is curd, it is said that it is an indication of Lakshmi Devi. So like that, and Purna Kumbhai. This is also very old Vedic culture, that having a pots filled with water. I don't know if you have seen this. If you go to some Ayurvedic clinics, you will see a big water pot, Kerala Ayurvedic places, you will see big water pot will be there. Water pot made up of some metal and water filled inside it, and flowers will be put on it. It's called Purna Kumbhai, right? So, or some great personality comes, we take one water pot and we put some coconut on it and mango leaves on it and we show. So these are all the Vedic rituals. So here it said that reception was not made simply by decorating the roads and street, but by worshipping the Lord with requisite ingredients like incense, lamp, flowers, sweets, fruits, and palatable eatables according to one's capacity. So the process of deity worship involves Shodasha Upachara, right? And this is all given in the scriptures, how to receive Lord Kṛṣṇa. What all things that we need to give, and when a great personality comes. First, we should give blowing of the conch shell. Then we give the incense, agarbatti, that gives a very pleasant smell and pleasant atmosphere. And then we show the lamp. And then we show the flowers. Is it not? And then we give the fruits, bhoga offering. right? This is the process of worship in the Vedas. In the Vedic system, in every puja, we do all this. So here the Supreme Lord is in front of them and they are doing directly in front of the Lord. So in every house, this prasadam is distributed. So this is the culture in Dvārakā. So what they will do, they will show the fruits and sweets to Lord Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa will glance at it, that's all. He doesn't have to eat it. So every house and every householder, everybody will bring out all this. They will just do the puja and they will show the fruits and sweets and everything. Whatever the items, food items they have prepared, Lord Kṛṣṇa will glance and say, I have accepted it. Then they will happily take it and distribute it to everyone. This is prasad, right? Offering to the Lord and prasade sarvadukhanam. Lord Kṛṣṇa says, right? By getting the prasadam, what happens? All our miseries will be gone. So such a blissful moment. Even in the temple also, when the prasadam comes, it becomes so blissful. On Govardhan Puja is over, then all that halwa will be distributed. It becomes so blissful. And we'll be waiting for that. Nishamya preshtam ayatana vasudevo mahamanaha akruraschogranescha ramaschadbhuta vikramaha Pradyumna charu deshnascha sambo jambavati sutaha praharsha vegochitishta shayanasana bhojanaha. On hearing the most dear Kṛṣṇa approaching Dvārakā Dham, magnanimous Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balarama, Pradyumna and Charudeshna and Samba, the son of Jambavati, all became extremely happy, abandoned resting, sitting and dining. So here we'll see description of all these personalities. It will be very nice. So each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with so much of meaning. One verse you can make thousands of meanings also. So there is always a reason why each and every person will be mentioned. If there is a person mentioned in Bhagavatam, there is a significance for that. So we have to explore that significance. So firstly, to understand this verse, what happened is, all these sons of Lord Kṛṣṇa, so there were some sons of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Pradyumna, Charudeshna, Samba, and Ugrasena, Balarama. Balarama is his brother, Ugrasena is the king, and Akrura is the minister, and Vasudeva is the father of Lord Kṛṣṇa. All of them, they stopped. They became extremely happy and they stopped resting, sitting and dining. So some of them were a little bit sleeping, taking some rest. Some of them were eating, sitting. They all just got up, became alert, right? Well, let's go through each and every person here. Who is Vasudeva? Vasudeva is the son of King Surasena, right? Sursena, and he's the brother of Kunti. So Kunti is like the direct sister of Vasudeva. So that is how Pandavas and Kṛṣṇa are connected. Kṛṣṇa is the son of Vasudeva, and Vasudeva's sister is Kunti Maharani. And Kunti Maharani is married to Pandu, King Pandu. And the Pandavas are the sons. So they are so very intimately connected. Maternal aunt. So Kunti Devi is maternal, father's side aunt for Lord Kṛṣṇa. So very, very close relationship, right? Between the Pandavas and Kṛṣṇa. So, and he is also the father of Subhadra, right? Subhadra is born to Rohini, right? And Subhadra was married to his cousin Arjuna. So in some parts of India, marriage between cousins is allowed. Cousin means only like, brother and sister, brother's daughter and sister's son, like that. That is allowed in some parts of India. Some parts of India, it's like, oh my God, what is going on? This is completely crazy. So it's like that. So, but this was allowed in case of Subhadra and Arjuna. So that's Vasudeva, right? Vasudeva, what does he do? When Lord Kṛṣṇa was born, he takes Kṛṣṇa and delivers to Nanda Maharaja's house, right? And the Akrura, you have heard of Akrura? So yeah, there's a question here. What is Vrishni? Vrishni is a dynasty. Vrishni, Bhojas, Yadus. These are all different dynasties. They were all living together in Dvārakā. Okay, Kuru is one dynasty. So these are all kingly dynasties. Okay, described. Akrura. Have you heard of Akrura? Akrura is the person who takes Lord Kṛṣṇa from Vrindavan to Mathura. So he is known for his prayers that he has done when he took Lord Kṛṣṇa from Vrindavan to Mathura. At that time he does wonderful prayers to Kṛṣṇa. He is known for that prayers. Vandanam. For Vandanam we remember Akrura. And what happened is Akrura was also present when Abhimanyu was married to Uttara. And Ugrasen is one of the powerful kings of the Vrishni dynasty and cousin of Maharaj Kunti Bhoja. Right? So he is the father of Kamsa. Ugrasena is the father of Kamsa. What happens is Kamsa arrests his father and imprisons him. So when Lord Kṛṣṇa comes to Mathura, he will kill Kamsa and reinstate Ugrasena as the king. So the king of Dvārakā is also Ugrasena only. So Lord Kṛṣṇa is guiding Ugrasena, whereas he is not directly sitting as a king. He is guiding. Baladeva, very important. Recently we had the Balram Paurnima. Who is Baladeva? We always say Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Mai ki Jai. So we spoke about Subhadra, right? Who is the wife of one of the 4 wives of Arjuna, and Baladeva is Balram, first plenary expansion of Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa. He is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Vishnu Tattva. It is from Baladeva or Balaram that even the 3 Vishnus, Narayana or Mahavishnu, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, all these Vishnu expansions also come from Balaram, not directly from Kṛṣṇa. First expansion is Balaram. From Balaram comes the Chaturvyuha, right? And from Chaturvyuha comes quadruple expansion, right? And another quadruple expansion, and from there the Vishnus come, the 3 Vishnus. So Baladeva, Bala means spiritual strength. So you cannot approach Lord Kṛṣṇa without approaching Baladeva. Baladeva represents the spiritual master. So if you have to go to Kṛṣṇa, you have to go through the spiritual master. The spiritual master will give you the spiritual strength to approach Lord Kṛṣṇa. And he was a close friend of Kṛṣṇa, obviously. And he was also the teacher of wrestling to Duryodhana. And when Bhima killed Duryodhana by breaking the rules, Baladev became very unhappy. But Lord Kṛṣṇa requested him, please don't become angry on Bhima that he has killed your dear disciple Duryodhana like that. Then Baladev becomes very upset and he goes away from that place. Right? So that was it. And also, Baladev becomes very upset on Arjuna and he thinks, I will kill Arjuna. You know when that happens? When Subhadra was kidnapped by Arjuna, Baladev becomes very upset. And he says, now I'm going to kill Arjuna. At that time, Lord Kṛṣṇa will fall on the feet of Baladev. So such a beautiful exchange of love between the brothers. Right? Dauji, Dau Bhaiya we call, right? Krishna Balaram temple in ISKCON Vrindavan, where Kṛṣṇa and Balaram are there. And Balaram is putting his hand on Kṛṣṇa like this. You know, he puts his hand like this. I don't know if you've seen. So Balaram is resting his hand on Kṛṣṇa like this. So once somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, who is more powerful, Kṛṣṇa or Balaram? Then he said, Prabhupada said, okay, you saw the Kṛṣṇa Balaram deities? Yes, I saw. Who is putting the hand on whom? Balaram is putting the hand on Kṛṣṇa. Right? So then who is powerful? More powerful. So Kṛṣṇa is able to even take the weight of Balaram. Right? Who Balaram is Ananta Shesha, who is taking the weight of all the universes. So Kṛṣṇa is the source of Balaram. So they are both clear. Balaram is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Charu Dekshna is one of the sons of Kṛṣṇa and Rukmini Devi. Samba is a very interesting character which we should know about. He was born to Jambavati and Lord Kṛṣṇa, right? And this Samba, I'll tell you one interesting pastime. Once he goes to the Swayamvara of the daughter of Duryodhana. I mean, we would not expect this to happen, right? Son of Lord Kṛṣṇa going to the Swayamvara of daughter of Duryodhana, right? And what he does there, he does some mess up there. What he does is, he will kidnap so Swayamvara is going on. She's supposed to be choosing, so whom to marry. So she is seeing and selecting all the brides. She's seeing bridegrooms and all, whom to marry like that. At that time, he forcibly kidnaps her and takes her, and he runs away. And then all the Kauravas become very angry, including Pandavas are also there, including Arjuna, all the Pandavas. So they become very angry. How dare Samba do this? He has insulted us very greatly. Come on, let us fight with him. And they take all the army and everybody starts chasing him. And they shout, hey, if you're a Kshatriya, come fight. Why are you running away? Then he turns, takes a U-turn. And then he comes, Samba. And he fights with everybody. And he fights with so many 6 Maharathis at the same time. All the great warriors start attacking him at the same time. He is, he's fighting with them very valorously. He fights. And they are all very shocked. They're seeing that, Samba is so powerful. Wow, what a fight this is, right? And then they finally, he finally gets defeated. They arrest him. And now the Yadavas become very angry. Oh, how dare this Kauravas arrest Samba? What did Samba do? Mistake. Samba fought very valorously, and these people shamelessly, they have attacked such a small boy. All of them together they have attacked. They have not done in a proper warfare, and they have arrested our son. Come, let us attack them. So this is what Kshatriyas, they are always in this mood. Okay, so this is how Kshatriyas behave. So then what happens? Balaram says, no, let's not get into a fight. See, Kali Yuga means age of quarrel. Let's not get into fight unnecessarily. They are our well-wishers. Kauravas, come on, they are our relatives. So I will go and discuss. I will talk to them nicely. I will convince them. Then he goes to the city of Hastinapura. And he's very nicely received. And first of all, they'll praise him very nicely and they'll satisfy him. And he'll say, fine. And now Baladev starts telling the proposal. He says, okay, dear friends, whatever has happened. Our boy has come to your place, to Swayamvara of your daughter. Okay. And he has kidnapped her forcibly. Fine. That is the way of Kshatriyas. And you people have unlawfully, irreligiously, fought with him and arrested him. That is actually disturbing to us. Therefore, but we order to you right now, my order to you is that you must get this boy married to the girl. This is my order. He says like that. But these people become very angry. The Kauravas become very angry, thinking, how dare, what is this here? Balaram is ordering us. Why is Balaram talking in this tone with us? And we don't like it. Then they say, hello, who are you? What is your son? What is your level? You are coming and talking to us like this? What is your level? We are the kings of Hastinapura. You are just like one of the Yeah, Hare Krishna. So what happened is you are saying what are you what is your level? You people are just like nothing but just subservient kings to us. Actually, because you are relative to us, we gave you some permission to use the royal symbols like throne and fan, etc., and royal symbols like wearing the crown simhasana. Actually, from now on, we are revoking everything. You don't even deserve all that. Then Balaram becomes very angry. He says, Acha, now you have become so powerful. You're thinking yourself to be the king of us. Huh? Let me teach you what you are and what is your level. And you're saying that Lord Kṛṣṇa is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is Mahavishnu, served by Lakshmi Devi in Vaikunta. He should not use Simhasana. This is what you're saying. And you will take away the royal symbols from the supreme personality of Godhead. And you are saying that Lord Indra is under your control. So all the demigods like Brahma and Indra, everybody is subservient to us. and you have become so proud. Okay, let me teach you a lesson now. What I'm going to do is, I am going to completely destroy your dynasty. This complete city, I will drown it inside the Ganges. See what I will do. And he will take his hala, his plow, and he lift the entire Hastinapura. He will put it in the plow and he will lift it. Everything will shake. Everything is shaking. And he just lifts it and drags it into the water. Then everybody starts crying, shouting loudly. He's not fighting any war or anything. He's just taking the city and putting inside the water. That is Balram. That is his strength. So then everybody comes to their senses, Kuru, and they all start praising Balram. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are Anantashesha, you are lifting all the universes. We have become very shameless. I'm so sorry. We were just trying to explore your strength. We just want to show the world how strong you are. That's all. That's why we have made such comments. Please don't get angry on us. So like that, they pacify. And Balram and the marriage of Samba and the daughter of Duryodhana happens nicely. So that is Samba, and Samba does some mischief. Towards the end, what Samba does, when Yadavas are supposed to be annihilated, when Lord Krishna decides that everything must be annihilated, at that time, some rishis were discussing and some meditating, and they were doing some kind of conference, assembly. So Samba goes like a pregnant woman. He dresses up with a sari. He puts one stick, musala, right? Something like a balan kind of a thing. He puts that metallic one inside his stomach to just like to imitate a pregnant woman. And he wears a nice sari and closes with the face. And there is another fellow will take them and to the rishis, and they will say, "Oh rishis, please tell when my wife will become pregnant. When she will conceive. Please tell about her son." So the rishis become very angry. They know that this is some mischief going on, and say, "Okay, you want to play mischief with us, huh? This fellow Samba will actually deliver a lump of iron, and they called Musala, and that will cause the entire war of Yadavas, and everybody will die. That is our curse." Then what happens? That Musala will actually be delivered, be born, will come out of Samba, and Ugrasena tries to make it into pieces into powder, and he tries to put it inside the water. But then again that will grow, and everybody will get that stick, and everybody will fight with each other with that, and they'll kill each other. So we should not misunderstand this. It's the Lord's way of winding up the pastime. That's it. So it's also called as Asura Vimohana Leela. Means those who are demons, they will immediately jump to a conclusion. Oh, see what happened to the Yadavas, how Lord Krishna has died. Oh, he's an ordinary person. I got it. So but Lord Krishna says, Avajananti Mama Mudha Manushim Tanumashritam. Means a fool will think like that. Only fool will think that Krishna is a human being, ordinary human being. It's a Leela to perform and delude the demons. So they hasten towards the Lord on the chariots, bearing flowers, with Brahmanas bearing flowers. And elephants were the emblems of good fortune. Conch shells and bugles were sounded. Vedic hymns were chanted. And they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection. So this is how the reception happens in a Vedic style. And at that time, many hundreds of well-known prostitutes began to proceed on the various vehicles. They were very eager to meet the Lord, and their beautiful faces were decorated with dazzling earrings, which enhanced the beauty of their foreheads. So it is from this we can understand that even 5,000 years ago also, there were some prostitutes who were maintained for the proper upkeep of the society. So we have to understand this in a proper perspective. So sometimes we see that the government only maintains the wine shops. It is not that government wants everybody to be drunk. It is only that the government wants everybody to be regulated in drinking. That is why government is supplying. Because if government doesn't supply, anyways they will smuggle it. Just like on some days when alcohol is banned in some parts of the country, people will do anything to smuggle alcohol. So similarly, if this kind of
prostitutes are not maintained in the society, there are some lusty people in the society. They will spoil the good people of the society. That is a big problem. So they will spoil the good ladies of the society because of their lusty desires. If these kind of citizens are not maintained. So Srila Prabhupada says, we don't hate even the prostitutes if they are devotees of the Lord. And there are so many instances in the past where there have been great devotees who are prostitutes by profession. So just by seeing it a profession is not a disqualification. Bhakti Yoga is such a powerful process. It can even transform the prostitutes. It can transform the dacoits. It can transform any person to the highest stage of life. That is the power of the Bhakti Yoga. That is the power of association of the Lord Kṛṣṇa, which is not possible by anybody or anything. So that we have to understand in perspective. So the last verse for today. Nata nartaka gandharvaha sutamagada vadinaha gayanti chotama shloka charitani adbhutani cha. Expert dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, historians, genealogists, and learned speakers gave their respective contributions, being inspired by the superhuman pastimes of the Lord. Thus, they proceeded on and on and on. So, here we see what is the purpose of drama people, dancers, singers, historians, genealogists. So, these dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, they are classified as Shudras. And the historians and genealogists and learned speakers are Brahmanas. So both of them, they are doing their job. So we see in the today's society, all the Bollywood is boycotted, right? Nobody is watching movies. Boycott, every movie boycotted. Because there's a transformation that's going on among the public. Public has come to realize that these so-called wood or whatever wood, these people are creating movies on smugglers, glorification of a smuggler. This is the movie. Smuggling is the movie. So is this a movie? Right? And showing over sexuality, right? And nudity and very vulgar songs. So this is the way that which they are maintaining drama and movies. So drama has fallen to such a level in the Kali. But even till 100 years ago, drama was done for glorifying the Supreme Lord, right? So even the 100 years back, all the villagers, what they used to do, in the full day, they will work in the agricultural field. In the evening, for relaxation, they will go and see the dramas, where they will see Lord Krishna's dramas. Krishna pastimes are there. Mahabharata pastimes are there. Bhagavad Gita discourses are there. Bhagavatam discourses are there, right? But today, what they are doing, our villagers and everybody, they will work every day, full day, morning to evening, and they'll come and open Amazon Prime, Netflix. And what will they watch in that? Some nonsense serial. Isn't it? Completely nonsense, isn't it? So this is what has happened. So, and what to talk about our historians are distorting the facts. They don't want to accept that Mahabharata is real, Ramayana is real. They want to prove time and again that Bhagavad Gita was written very recently. It was edited by 100 people. This is the kind of distortion that they want to do. Genealogists and historians. That is their time pass. Hare Kṛṣṇa, kindly mute yourself. And the dramatists, they are interested in showing all kinds of nonsense dramas. So, but the purpose of dramatists, singers, dancers is to show the pastimes of Lord Krishna. It's to bring these stories closer to the common public. Right? If whatever lecture we have seen today, if we have seen a short film, how nice it will be. How the description of the Dvārakā city was there. How they are all receiving. There must be short films on this. There must be movies made on this pastimes of Lord Krishna. Why should we go to any other story? If we have so many stories of Lord Krishna, why should we go to some other story and show all this fantasy, the whole world is closing, there's that, what is that dinosaur? What is the use of all this? I mean, there's no change in consciousness. But if you can take up one story of the Lord and show very nice Hollywood movies can be made. Nice music can be made. Beautiful songs can be made, bhajans can be made. This is how we must engage our mind in Krishna consciousness. Since the society has become demoniac, they are not interested in this. So, but we have, the change begins from us, right? So that is why at ISKCON, for Janmashtami recently we have celebrated, we have done so many kinds of dramas, devotional dramas, right? Small children dressing up as Lord Sri Krishna and reciting the verses of Bhagavad Gita, right? This is the culture that we must promote, okay? Not the culture of any kind of the so-called movie industries of the present, okay? So with this, I would like to conclude today's class, unless you have any questions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. I'm sorry that I took a little extra time. There's just one announcement that I want to make. If you give me a chance, I just want to show you something interesting. I'll share my screen. One announcement and we'll close. So we are doing one interesting session called as Gita Basics. We are doing it in all languages. So this is Gita Basics. It's a 1 hour session about Bhagavad Gita Foundation, Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So it's like a very, very simple, easy to understand way. What does Bhagavad Gita contain? How is it relevant to me? And what is this? Is it mythology or is it real? It's what we want to do. So I request all of you to, I'm sharing this here, to take advantage of this and share it with your friends. You please, I've sent the link to you. And we have it in all languages. In all our WhatsApp groups we have sent. Purpose of this is that we want to share this knowledge. I told you that we all have to participate in this mission. We have to bring the culture. The change starts from me. We have to bring the cultural change, right? So for that, we have to bring the culture of Bhagavad Gita. First step is, should make everybody aware of Bhagavad Gita. Yes? So we should. Okay, so let's make everybody aware of Bhagavad Gita first in a very simple way. This is a very simple attempt, very simple presentation and nicely presented. Very nice presentation is there. Please ask your friends, family, colleagues, everybody to join this session and they will definitely become convinced that they must become Krishna conscious. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, you can please tell me. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for patient hearing. Yes, Kalyani Mataji, I'll share it in the Gita Gyan. It's already shared also. I'll share it once more. We'll share it today in the morning. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
You told about who is powerful, Balarama or Sri Krishna. Balarama had kept his hand on Sri Krishna's shoulder. Later, I couldn't catch that part. Can you please explain, please?
Yes. So the thing is, Balarama is Ananta Shesha, upon whom all the universes rest. So he must be so very strong. First, means to take the weight of all the universes, he must be strong. Therefore, he's called Balarama. Bala, strength. And this powerful Balarama is resting his hand on Krishna. I'll show you the picture. We'll take the darshan of that also. It's very nice. Okay, Krishna Balaram Mandir, Vrindavan, right? So I'll just share that. Wait a second. If you see this picture here, you see Balaram is putting his hand on Krishna. You see this? He's resting his arm on Krishna's hand. Yeah. So the logic that Srila Prabhupada said is to take the weight of Balaram, right? The person must be very strong, stronger than that person, isn't it? Right? You get the logic? So Krishna is stronger than Balaram because he's taking the weight of Balaram on his hands, on his shoulders.
Oh, okay. I got the point. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Srihari Prabhu, sorry to interrupt. Like what you mentioned, like Prabhupada, there's a pastime when he asked the devotees, who's stronger? Krishna disciple, who's stronger? Krishna or Balram? And everybody said, Balram. And he said, no. Balram is resting on Krishna. So Krishna is stronger. This is exactly what he said, but I just related it to. But thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. For
Thank you.
bringing-
No, thank you, Prabhu. I just repeated what you said. Thank you. Sometimes you just get carried away. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat